people started to get well and I got results for people. I was having some health struggles at that time. I was seeking different provider support, not really getting the care that I need. But that's honestly what sets our practice apart is that we compound in
I
house.
was just gonna say that. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but I do
No,
think
let's go down a
that
rabbit hole. So happy you're here. This is our first episode, the intro episode. We are diving into my journey, holistic, and who better to share this moment with than my best friend in the whole world since sixth grade, Alexa Zamet. Thanks for being here and welcome.
thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy for podcast world to get to know you.
We've had this history of talking about healthcare and some of the shortcomings of the system, even again, like before Holistic Health Code came to be. I can remember being at the bedside and just talking to you about like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
This is a lot. This is not feeling like why I came into nursing or what my passions really were. It seems so far ago now.
Yeah. So tell us how you got here. What
Yeah.
was there a straw that broke the camel's back? Do you think this was something that was like always, was always your path?
Yeah. I feel like looking back, like having more of a reflective practice when I applied to nursing school, I always think about this. You know how you had to write like a letter of intent with your application to school?
Mhm.
One of the lines in there I wrote, I wanted to be a nurse to help the people in my community live happier and healthier. And
Love it.
yeah, right.
So
It
good.
feels like a manifestation. Like
Yeah.
it feels like that's when I really started the journey to get here. So that was after URI and before UMass. So your question was, how did I get here? If we backed up all the way, so I went to URI for college, which we can even go further after this.
Yeah.
But I went to URI for college and I went to Rhode Island with the major. I can't remember exactly what it was now. It was like textile marketing or something.
Textile merchandising or
Yeah, like some type
something.
of fashion
Yeah.
degree because I was like convinced I was going into fashion. And then one of my first classes, the professor was like, only like 2% or 5% of you are going to go on to be successful. In my back of my mind, I'm like, oh, shoot. Like,
I will.
like it's not going to be me. So in that class, I remember it was truly like a weekend. I switched to bio because I always had this, well, not always, it was the beginning stages of really starting to listen to my body and become more aware and having more of a passion for health in general. So I went to bio or switched to bio just to have a broader degree for more opportunity. And then after that, I really didn't know what the hell I wanted to do, like finishing that degree, which that was very difficult. One of the hardest tracks at Rhode Island, in my opinion, outside of nursing. And then I took a year off. I started to nanny to make money,
Forgot
honestly.
about that.
Yeah, in Avon,
That was
actually.
a huge turning point for you,
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
that was like, do you remember? Like, I was unwell. Like, I was
Yes.
brutally, not to bring this up, I was brutally broken up with, went home, like, barely graduated from college, which there's a theme here. Went home, didn't know what I wanted to do, and then found this nannying job for cash, needed a car. And then I started to think about what I wanted to do. And I sort of came back to myself and started to work out in the gym again and start to counting macros and like really leaned in like full bro though, like
Yeah.
protein, which that's something that I still honestly talk about
Yeah.
all the time, but like in a
Different.
bad
It was such
way.
a different. It was in such a different
Yeah.
context back then.
Yeah.
That definitely was a huge turning point for you. I can like remember like looking back and you just getting like
How difficult it
full,
was.
yeah, but also like full send
Yeah.
into this journey of healing.
Yeah, it was fully.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first year, well, not the first year, the first year after my undergraduate degree, that's when I really started to commit to my health.
Yeah.
But because I was truly like at the bottom, if that makes sense, like I had nowhere else to go. So I fully leaned into the gym and exercising. I think like naturally too, when you're in the gym, you have to start thinking about your nutrition. So, yeah, that happened. And then,
So why nursing after that?
yeah,
Is this
that's a good
this came
question.
after you were nannying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I was
It
nannying.
all like blends together, you
It
know?
does.
It's
It
like
really does. That's
it
why
happened so quickly and it was
thinking about the timeline in my mind, it's like hard.
yeah.
It's fuzzy. And since there's some trauma in there, I feel like it's difficult to go
Yes,
back into the
suppressed
file. So,
memories.
like, forgive me if it feels like a little all over the place. But my mom was a nurse. My sister was finishing up her nursing degree. So I felt really lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I saw my mom and she was thriving in her new career. I think she was in her 40s. And my sister was so passionate about it. So I started to be around more nurses in
Mhm.
general.
A lot of nurses.
Yeah, a
We're
lot of
around
nurses. Yeah, it like
nurses. Yeah.
exploded. And
Yeah.
then I started to
Really good
realize
ones too.
too, yeah, good nurses, like leaders in
Mhm.
the field. And then I started to really understand what nurses do and how holistic the nursing model is. So I felt
Definitely.
more aligned with that. So at that time, I started to apply to schools, and honestly, I didn't have the best grades. So it was challenging, and I didn't get into a lot of schools. You probably don't even remember this. Do you remember that I committed to a school? I had an apartment in
Vaguely, I do. Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Was
I
that
don't
where it
remember it
was?
being Pittsburgh, but I actually do remember that.
I was
Yeah.
committed. I was committed. And I got on the wait list for UMass by the grace of God, literally praying that I would get in. And it happened. I got in. I somehow got out of a lease, somehow got out of the program. I had the scrubs. I literally had the scrubs. I was
Like
going.
the white like
Yeah,
nursing
yeah, but for the
student.
other school.
Yeah.
And then I got into UMass and I literally it was like a whirlwind. Got another apartment,
Mhm.
moved to Northampton. I remember starting the program, and at that point, I'm like, "Okay, God, like, I'm gonna do it this time, I
Jesus,
promise."
take the
Yeah.
wheel.
Figure out what I wanted to do, went into nursing, got into the UMass program, and killed it, honestly. Like, committed. I think I graduated with a 3.9 or something. Like, I remember having to, like, prove to myself that I
Yeah,
can do it, and everybody, honestly, around me, even though that pressure was coming more internally.
definitely.
And then after that, what happened? Graduated. It was a quick program. It was 16 months, I
Mhm.
want to say. And then I took a residency or got into a
That's
residency at
tricky. I
Yale.
know that nurses did that, so
Yeah.
that's very cool.
Well, I want to say it's a newer effort just
Yeah.
because it is, I mean, it's a challenge to transition from student
Mhm.
to professional and then throw on like clinician.
Mhm.
It's very difficult. So it was a commitment for sure. And Yale's program was definitely competitive and it did have a lot of requirements, but got through that and it was very helpful. I was in the float pool at Yale for maybe 2 years. Was I there?
That's some character building
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, for sure. Because I want to say at the time there was like 18 floors that I was, maybe 19,
Mhm.
all of the med surge floors, all of the specialty floors. I was floating into step downs and the ED when I left there. Nothing like too urgent. I
Yeah.
wasn't in the front of the emergency department, but I was in like the chest pain center and things like that.
Yeah, sure.
So just like floating around like different units, like you can imagine how difficult it is going into like different spaces and different teams and having to know where everything is
Mhm.
and
Definitely.
delegate tasks and all of that. And as a nurse too in the float pool, you would be booked for 4-hour shifts. So I was scheduled for 12 hours in the float pool, but I could potentially get a new assignment every 4 hours, which that did happen more often than you would
Oh,
think.
I didn't realize that.
So I
Wow.
would I
That's a
would
lot.
truly, and like as a new grad nurse too, just like try to understand this. I would like be driving into work, not knowing what unit I was going on until
Yeah.
I got there.
Rough.
So I would like go in, okay, I'm going to 6-4 today. That's surgery. And then I would get my assignment, take your first round on your patients, and then like, do your med pass, do your assessments and all of that. And then it would be like 11:30, you'd get the call, you're going to 7-1.
Yeah, just as you were getting comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
no.
So you'd have to give report, blah, 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 and then go to your next floor and then like start your shift all over again. I know that sounds terrible, but as a new grad, you learn so quick when
Yeah,
you have to, you know?
definitely.
and I was going back and forth from day and night too. So it was like it was just a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but
Yeah.
also really good. I was young. I did it somehow, and I wouldn't be the nurse that I
No.
am today without that experience. But looking back on it, it was really in a different spot then
Yeah.
too. Like I
Yeah.
remember hitting a breaking point at that job too. Like I need some consistency. I need a day shift. I need to know where I'm going and like what crazy I'm getting today. It was good though. It
That's what
was
I was gonna
good.
ask you. At that point, where was your head at? Where
Yeah.
did you feel like that was something you could see yourself doing?
Yeah.
Where was the was like holistic health code, was your
Yeah.
functional medicine journey like already brewing at this point?
I think for me personally, it was like I was having some health struggles at that time. I was seeking different provider support, not really getting the care that I need,
Mhm.
but it wasn't necessarily top priority. It was
Mhm.
sort of like in the background. Like I was seeing providers having some health struggles, but again, like not really feeling like I was being heard or my needs were being met fully. But it wasn't completely disrupting to my life at that
Yeah.
time. So I'm trying to think now. I can recall getting to a place in that position though at Yale that I needed more and I wanted to get to ICU. Do you remember
Mhm.
that?
Yeah.
That was like my goal. I wanted to be a ICU nurse so bad. Like I wanted to practice at the top of my license, the top of my scope. And the ICU nurses just they're badass. Like
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say
they
that I don't know like the
run
right
the
way to say
hospital.
it, but like I think when you're in the nursing world or even the
Yeah.
healthcare world, you kind of know like that's like
Yeah.
the upper echelon. Is
Yeah.
that how you say that? Echelon?
I'll go with it because
Yeah,
I
that
don't know that
sounds
word. I have
right.
to look it
If
up.
you know, let us know.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, I like thought that that's what I wanted. And then that's ultimately what led me to leave Yale because I wanted more stability, day shift, and I wanted to get to the unit. And for some reason, they weren't putting me in ICU or I wasn't taking ICU assignments every time I was going in.
Mhm.
So I would like be in med surge and then I'd go to ICU and it just felt like I can't go from like a full ass assignment like with 6 or 7 patients and like getting an admin in med surge and then like the next day like going to the unit and you have like one intubated patient.
Yeah,
It's like I can't keep flipping back and forth
yeah.
with this. And I know it sounds if you're not a nurse it's hard to wrap your head around, but that's, I guess, what happened. So I left that position. I went to Hartford at that time, and that's when my health really started to take like it
Mhm.
started to become more of a priority to me that it was starting to be more disruptive
Yeah.
is a good way
Yeah.
to say it. So what had happened, and this is something that we can definitely get into more, but I'll do my best for the sake of
Yeah.
time. I really struggled with my period, and I was at the time trying to find somebody that can help me. I really didn't want to be on birth control. And I was like, I don't know, how old was I at that time? Like
Early 20s.
24
Yeah, if
maybe?
that.
Yeah. So, and the reason why I didn't want to be on birth control, I'm not against it by any means, but I I just couldn't find one that fit. Like we
Yeah, it's not gonna be
all
for everybody. It's
yeah, I just remember feeling insane on it. I just remember really struggling with contraception and not finding one that fit. And I still struggled with my period. And it's like, that's why I was put on contraception in the first place is that I had heavy periods, painful periods. I had acne. Like I wasn't actually prescribed contraception for contraception.
yeah.
So I just started to have like a, I don't know, like moral, ethical, like, is this right for me? Does this feel aligned? And then again, like I was still having those symptoms that the med was supposed to treat. So I started to like ask myself these questions like, there's got to be a different way. Like, what else can I do? So that kind of goes back to the story of me seeing specialist after specialist, not getting the care that I needed. And then I found somebody that no longer practices, but the practice is still alive and well, but she's not with the practice anymore. But she was a DNP, doctor of nursing practice. And I was like, holy shit, like she's a doctor of nursing. I didn't even realize that existed.
Yeah.
And I'm like already a nurse. So that like totally expanded like what was possible for me. I'm like, okay, wow, like I can do this. I can be a practitioner. I can go get my doctorate. Like I can practice at the top of my license, my education, my training, and all of that. And then this person comes into my life and just shows me like what, again, like what all is possible in the nursing world. Not only that, like from a career standpoint, but she helped me.
Yeah.
She helped me. She introduced me to, I tested my hormones, which blew my mind because every other clinician prior to that was like, oh no, we don't do that. Like, take this,
Yeah.
you know? So tested my hormones. She put me on a shake, like some type of detox or liver supportive shake. And then we trialed LDN for a little while, which I'm sure you might see some of that in practice, but we do a little bit of it at Holistic. So yeah, she just completely changed my life personally and professionally, helped me to get well, introduced me to functional medicine, and then also was a expander for me from a nursing standpoint, I
Yeah.
guess.
An
Yeah.
inspiration. Yeah. She
Yeah.
probably doesn't even know it wherever she is now.
No, Dr. Jensen. Shout out to her.
Oh yeah. Shout out to her if you're watching or
Yeah.
listening.
No, maybe she
Mhm.
will. I don't know. Hopefully.
So then that was it. You decided to go to
Yeah.
nurse.
So
I don't even
after,
really know this story.
yeah.
Like it just like
I know.
happened.
Well,
I don't
you're
really know
that's why I was like telling
yeah.
you at lunch today. I'm like, you've been by my side every step of the way, but we've never really like debriefed it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
We're
Like,
living it. We
yeah,
haven't reflected on it.
we're living the experience together side by side. Obviously, you know everything, but sometimes you just like you
Yeah.
keep going. Like
Yeah.
life just like sweeps you up. And
Surviving.
yeah, and that's also was a little traumatic for me. So it's not something that I like love to talk about, but also what is it, like 10 years out now? Like I'm a different person. I feel
Yeah.
like it's something that I could talk about with more
Yeah.
freedom.
So up to this point, we talked about surviving,
Yeah, I know.
but let's talk about thriving
Yeah, let's
because
do
you're
that.
thriving now.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
would,
that. Like the business is doing well. We have the best team going into new
when,
space.
when did you start your health coaching? That
Yeah,
was part of your DNP
yeah,
program
yeah.
or okay.
Well, yeah,
How'd
yes.
you get into that?
Okay,
That's
that's a good
something a lot of people
question.
don't know about.
You're right. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. I'm on the unit. I'm at Hartford. I'm in the surgical trauma ICU. These patients are sick.
Yeah.
If you've been in the hospital setting,
Yeah.
these
You don't want to end up
patients,
there.
yeah, they are intubated, they are sedated. There's pressors going, there's central lines, there's every monitoring device that you can think of. Very high level acuity nursing. So I'm there, I'm having these like come to Jesus moments like, okay, this is not feeling aligned. These patients are very sick. I have interest in maintaining and promoting health. So I started to have that like again like ethical, moral like what am I doing here type
Mhm.
thing, but I also like worked so hard to get to this point and that's what I wanted. I
Yeah.
wanted to work in the ICU.
That's a tough pill to
And then I
swallow.
got there and I'm like,
Pun
what the hell?
intended.
Yeah, literally though. Then I got there and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I was so stressed. It's just very stressful environment. So then I'm like, okay, what can I do to start like bringing in like some happiness and joy into my life? And I was very locked in on my health journey. And people started to notice. They're
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? Like asking questions. I'm bringing shakes to work. I'm bringing, supplements, blah, blah, blah. And then from there, I'm like, okay, I'm going to start coaching. And I already started my nurse practitioner degree at this time. So I started taking on clients for fun and for free. I didn't charge anybody. And then people started to get well and I got results for people.
How did you know about coaching? Is that a thing?
Yeah, health
Did you
coaching.
create that?
No.
I had never heard of it until you did
Yeah,
it.
it was new at the time, and now it's definitely more respected. At the time, there wasn't a whole lot of regulatory
Sure.
body
Yeah.
around it, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So anybody
It
can be a
wasn't well
coach. Yeah,
defined.
it wasn't
Yeah.
well defined. There wasn't a lot of training programs or anything to really govern that type of career, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I started to learn about health coaching and how nurses have all of the credential and training that they need to coach. So, I just started doing it for fun and I was hyper focused on what I learned through my journey. So I started mostly coaching women that struggled with their period and hormones and dove deep into that world. I Do you remember the period fix?
Yes, such a great idea. I
Yeah.
loved that.
Yeah, I know. I feel sorry that I don't do more with that.
It's okay. You still
Yeah,
can.
I gotta go back to it. But yeah, I made this first coaching group, I guess, called the Period Fix, and that I remember getting my first client, $500.
Wow. You
Yep.
truly are an innovator.
Oh my
That is
god, it was amazing. Like
impressive.
that is achievement and happiness that I don't know if I'll ever experience again.
Yeah.
Like getting my first client in a program that I made myself.
And it's gonna happen over and over again. Every
Yeah.
time you heal someone,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So from there, it just started to roll. Like testimonials would come in
Mhm.
and results, and people started posting about me, and I was active on social. And that's honestly, Instagram is what allowed me to build my brand and my business. So coaching, went back to school, knew I needed to go all the way because from this conversation, you guys know that I really struggled with school, not because I wasn't smart enough. I just was distracted and
Yeah.
not interested, honestly. So yeah, went all the way, got my doctorate, and then after I finished, well, I guess before even that, you brought up the coaching or the capstone, which I feel like is important. So, was coaching throughout my nurse practitioner training, and then in that degree at the doctorate level, you need to develop a capstone project. And what it is a project that will address a gap in healthcare. So I decided to focus on coaching and specifically on a population of women that struggled with insulin resistance. So hence the focus now of metabolic wellness. And I do a ton of work with people that have insulin resistance and PCOS type patients. But yeah, I studied it in my doctorate training. I had a cohort of women and we met weekly to discuss X, Y, and Z. You were a guest,
Yeah. That's
remember?
impressive within itself because if you're not in this space, I don't think people realize how hard like research is hard.
Research
It's a
is
lot
hard.
of work to come up with a research
Yeah.
project is hard work.
And all the evidence that you have to
Yes,
gather.
just like getting
Yeah.
started,
Yeah.
planning it,
Yeah. Well,
creating
it's
it,
the whole thing.
collecting
Like
the data.
it's collecting the data, it's getting all of the studies in place. Like your lit review is like took 1 year,
Yeah.
literally a full year, 2 semesters. And then you have to develop your question, right? Your PICO question.
Yeah.
Remember that? I couldn't even speak to it. Like population. Yep, that's where it ends. I don't even know.
Outcomes, the O was
Outcomes.
outcomes.
Yeah. Treatment, maybe. Whatever.
That's a T,
Yeah,
but
whatever.
we'll figure
So
it
did
out.
the whole thing, and then you have to run the study, and then you have to take your data and interpret it and do the statistical analysis, right? And then you have to write your whole thesis on it,
Yeah.
which
It's impressive. That's what I'm
I
trying
mean,
to.
it took 4 years.
Yeah.
Like you start that project your first semester in the doctorate program. So, yeah,
And
there's that.
then holistic was born.
Yeah, so after that, after I finished my training and wrapped up my capstone, I was like, all right, I'm coaching now for, I don't know, 18, 19, 20, like 3 years, maybe four, all online from Instagram. And I was like, I'm either going to go into the system and get back into a job that I hate
Mhm.
again, or I'm going to
Do it
do
your
it.
way.
Yeah, or I'm
Yeah.
going to do it. I just remember being at home crying, like bawling to my husband, like, I can't do it. I can't go to the hospital. Like, I can't
Yeah.
like see another patient or
Yeah.
whatever. So I was like, I gotta try. The worst that can happen is that I fail and I go and get a job.
Yeah.
So
And it didn't happen.
no, it didn't. Somehow, I mean, I think though, I have the best people around me. I think that's worth mentioning. Like I have you, my parents are hugely in my life. I have friends that are wildly supportive. My patients and my clients are amazing and they're rooting for me.
I was gonna say, I think you need to give yourself a little credit too,
Yeah.
because you're surrounded by people like that because of who you are, you
Oh,
know?
thank you.
Yeah,
That's
it's
sweet.
true.
Yeah. You're right though. It's so important. Yeah, your
That should
community.
be another episode, like, relationships.
Yeah.
Well, it
Well,
doesn't have
that's
to be
why
me,
you're
but
here,
someone should
though.
talk about it. But I
Yeah.
feel like that's a whole episode in
Yeah.
itself, the importance of
Yeah.
relationships.
Well, Dr. P and I were talking about how meaningful relationships are in your life and how they affect your health in a big way.
Do you remember that
We talked about this. I know
presentation
what
we
you're gonna
went
say.
to about the relationship with your parents?
Oh,
Is that
no. No, no, no.
so we went to a presentation, a dinner, um, and it was something along the lines of people that have a unhealthy relationship with one of their parents have like a some crazy high percentage of having like a chronic illness,
Yeah.
like 70-80%.
Yeah.
And if you have an unhealthy relationship with both of your parents, it's like 100% chance of
Oh my God.
having like chronic illness.
Was that the microbiome labs talk?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
That makes
So
sense.
that's what I'm saying, in like a whole
Yeah.
nother episode
Yeah.
on
I know.
relationships.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
anyways, let's
maybe
talk
that's a
about
testament though, because I have the
yeah,
best parents in the whole world and I'm the healthiest I've ever been.
yeah. They are great. Shout out to Pat and
Yeah.
Arlene.
Seriously. Huge shout out to them. Where are we going though? Oh,
We were
yeah. So
talking about holistic. I don't even how we even got into how holistic
I
came
know.
about.
Yeah. No, I don't even think we're there yet. And we're like 30 minutes in. Okay. So let's
You
get there.
started it before you even graduated, right?
Yeah,
Or
so
no?
before I graduated, I was coaching and it was holistic health code. So I was coaching and then that's when I finished, I was like, okay, let's just like take it to the next level. And that's ultimately where I wanted to go because I have these clients and I have a limitation as a coach. You know what I mean? Like nurses, I can and
Yeah.
I can look at labs, I can help them to understand where they should go or who they should see, but I know what to order. So it was more or less like I needed greater scope. I
Yeah.
needed that
Mhm.
prescription authority and the ability to order labs and actually assess and diagnose and treat. So, yeah, that's how holistic came to be. It was a coaching business and it morphed into a functional medicine practice. And now we're in a brick and mortar in Farmington and we have staff and
Amazing.
providers and a PharmD consultant who's
Hey.
also, yeah, in my back pocket as a best friend.
More to come, guys.
Yeah, seriously, so much more to come. I mean, all of the GLP stuff I need help with, all of the, I mean, really any prescription, somebody's eyes should
Yeah.
go on it.
Mhm.
But I see you doing a lot of the titration of the GLPs and
Yeah. Love
formulating
that.
with the drips and compounding with the drips because that
Yeah.
is very difficult and time consuming. But that's honestly what sets our practice apart is that we compound in
I
house.
was just gonna say that. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but I do
No,
think
let's go down a
that
rabbit hole.
yeah. Um, so we don't have to talk about how like all the things that set you apart because I think
Yeah.
that's pretty clear. Um, but no one that's doing IV therapy has a pharmacist on board.
Oh, hardly.
That's looking at
Mm-hmm.
sterility, that's looking at and making sure we're following USP,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that the what's the
797, you mean by USP?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, making sure that you have the right ratio of the
Yeah.
ingredients so
Oh,
nothing's
osmolarity.
precipitating,
Yeah. Yeah.
osmolarity.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
I
feel
mean, it's
like
a big job. It really is a lot. It's a huge undertaking. And for somebody like myself that's in this, it really is a pharmacy space that nursing is adjacent to.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And seeing a lot of these like pop ups happening, it's like, oh,
yeah,
you're
right.
not
Right.
doing this right. You
That's
know,
exactly what I was trying to get at
that's like
without
sucks to
yes.
say, but
Yeah.
it's like it's dangerous. Like
It
this is
muddies the water a lot
it
because it
does.
makes it hard for people to pick out the credible,
Yeah,
um, you know,
resources or where they should go for
exactly.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a big deal. Like this is a procedure. You're getting a needle and a catheter inserted into your vein, and that's a direct highway to your heart and your whole like
Yeah.
your whole system.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely more of a risky procedure that I think people realize and having somebody come to the home and not use or follow sterile guidelines,
Yeah.
like that's and like just, shooting up the bag on your count. Like it's just not the way that it's meant to be. And it's scary. But we'll get there. We're there.
Yeah.
We're there.
Yeah, you guys are there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a journey.
I know what a journey. Seriously. What a journey.
And like I said, more to come.
So much more to come.
Where do you have any like um visions for the future? Are you
Yeah.
happy with where you're at and just looking to grow? What are some things you
Yeah.
want to get into? What are some things you wish you had more bandwidth for?
Yeah. I love this question. I honestly am so happy now with the
Agree.
progress that
Yeah,
we've made.
you're there.
This is my dream.
Yeah,
Having the clinic, having a space to see patients, seeing patients that actually have a drive to be well
yeah.
and to have a care plan to help them reach their directed goals. That that's the good stuff. Like that's what all this work was for. That was a good like
Roller
over
coaster.
yeah, it was a roller coaster. It really was. Like I feel like
Anyone listening probably just diagnosed us both ADHD.
well, I have some tendencies. I really do. But I think it's managed
Yeah.
well. No, I feel like that was good. Like
I
we
mean, we
gave a
only had
pretty
how much time to talk about your entire life
yeah,
story? So
yeah. Well,
that
born
was pretty
February
good.
22nd, 1990. I'm a Pisces
I was gonna
through
say
and
that
through.
Pisces.
I have so much love that it hurts. I like don't know what to do with it
Yeah.
sometimes. My friends and my family mean everything to me. What else can I tell the people that they don't know about me? Anybody listening? What do you think people should know about me that they don't?
Oh, great question. You just always, okay, so this, if I can say one last thing, I guess, and I don't think this will be a surprise to anyone, but I'll just say it anyways, is you just like continue to surprise me in a good way. You know what I mean?
I
Like
love
I can't
that.
really, I know you better than anyone else, but also like don't know you at the same time.
Yeah.
But I mean that in a good way. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're constantly like morphing and evolving and
Oh,
yeah.
I love this. I think honestly, like my story though is a testament to like grit. Like
Yes.
I
And
have,
trusting yourself
yeah,
and being willing to take the chance and take the risk
yeah,
and bet on yourself.
yeah. Like I have resilience, like
Yes.
mad. I don't even know what's like. It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
I will hang on
Yeah.
because it will just get.
Stubborn. Is that a Pisces
Yeah,
thing? Pisces thing?
I'm stubborn. I'm very stubborn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think my Pisces comes through with like all of the compassion and love that I have for the people
Yeah.
in my life. And I think I have a lot of pings from the universe. Like I have an intuition that I truly feel like is a gift, which everyone's like, eye roll. Oh my God. Like,
No, why would you
whatever.
eye roll that?
I just feel like
You
I have like
do.
this sixth sense that I like,
Yes.
I can read energy.
Yes.
I know what's going on with my patient before they even open their mouth. Like,
Good
I
like sense of
swear to God,
judgment.
I swear,
Yeah.
I can just sense it. I know when like my friends are upset with me. Like, I just know I can read the vibes.
Yeah.
I don't
Lean
know.
into that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely helpful as a clinician and somebody that cares for others.
And for anyone listening, I think that's a testament
Yeah.
to why you're so good at what you do, right?
Thank you. You're the best.
Yeah.
I love that
Number one
you're
fan.
here. Number one best friend,
Shit
guys.
about my foam finger.
Alexa. Okay, let's play a quick game of this or that.
So fun.
I'll say the options and
Okay.
then we'll both say
The
at the
same
same
time. Maybe we can hear.
time
Okay.
what our response is. Okay. Coffee or matcha?
Coffee. That's not even,
Obviously.
yeah.
Start early or work late?
Start
Start
early.
early.
I'm
Sauna or
like dead
cold
by like
plunge?
9:30.
Me too. Let
I'm
me
fine
start
with
over.
it.
Okay. Sauna or cold plunge? Sauna.
Yeah, sauna for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not cold plunging.
Yeah. Nope. Miss me with
Okay.
that.
Seriously. I'm never doing it. Okay. Protein shake or green juice? Protein shake for me.
Yeah, I agree. Protein shake, but I do love a green juice.
I love
That's a
green
tough
juice.
one.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
like green juice. I just,
It's a lot of work.
this or that, I have to choose protein.
Protein shake,
Yeah.
sure. I agree.
Okay, ready? Power nap or quick workout?
Quick
Nap.
workout. Oh, I didn't think we were going to be different on any of
Yeah.
them. Like
Nap.
a walk,
Recovery.
fresh air, sunshine.
Yeah, fair, but
Okay.
if I'm tired,
Okay. I don't do well with power naps.
impact or income?
Income.
Okay. I have some kids. They're expensive. Yeah, they are. Okay, meeting or email? Meeting.
Email.
Wow.
I don't know. Actually, that's a hard one. I
I
feel
do
like
not respond to emails. Honestly, I just like open them and
same,
they go. I don't even know where they go.
same, but I also just don't like talking to people. So
Yeah, fair. I got
yeah,
that. Okay, call or text?
text.
Call.
What?
I love when people call
Oh,
me.
gross.
It's like
Don't call me.
I care about you. I want to hear your voice.
Nope. Do not call
I
me.
have 6 minutes for you. Like, let's catch up really quick. Like, that's like a
I
love
mean, you can
language.
call me. This is not like, don't take this personal.
Yeah,
I would love
I'm
for you
not
to call
taking it
me, but
personal
everybody else,
because
don't call
every
me.
time I call you, you answer.
Yeah.
Like, that's the relationship that we have.
Yeah.
Okay, one-on-one or group hangs? One-on-one. I'm a one-on-one person.
Yeah,
I
I
am
agree with
so
that.
awkward in
One-on-one.
social
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah.
It turns all the way on.
Yep.
Work from home or office energy?
Or from home.
Ugh, I'm an office gal. I go in.
Both.
I go in. A
Back
night
and
in or
forth.
out?
In or out. A night in or a night out. Night in.
Out. I'm out
What?
right
You
now.
lying.
I like going out.
What?
I like a
No
dinner date.
way.
Yes.
I can't get you out of the house to save your life.
Okay, fair. I like in too. It just depends, like the
Okay.
mood or the vibe or like
Yeah.
where I'm at in my
I
cycle,
was just
honestly.
gonna say that when
Yeah.
you're out in your
Yeah.
cycle. So you're feeling like,
Yeah. If I'm feeling a little like fun and frisky, I
yeah,
want to go out. Okay, dinner or brunch?
dinner.
Brunch.
Wow, we're so
You don't even know
different.
me anymore. Okay, this is like a little bit of a twist. Indica or sativa?
Hybrid, sativa dominant hybrid.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Not too much anxiety, just a
Yeah,
little.
just a little
Little
for the
sprinkle.
feels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun.
Love you.
What are we going to talk about next?
I don't know, but now that you have one under your belt, are you gonna
I
come
have my
back?
ideas. Yeah. Heck yeah. I
Okay.
have so many ideas.
Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.